All right, so this stream is basically going to be us talking about our expectations for Stalker 2 and what we think is going to happen with the story, any predictions and such. But while we do that, I'm just going to start a new Gamma game, and we're going to do Azazel mode, which if you didn't know is basically if I die, I inhabit a new person's body. So that's what we'll be doing. Oh, I thought I chose Rookie Village, but I guess here we are in Clear Skyland, and of course it's raining. That's a good sign for the discussion. But yeah, I find it really stupid that we can't preload the game on PC. It's console only, which is really weird, because that means the first like 20 minutes of my Stalker 2 stream is basically going to be you guys watching me download the game. I wish I was kidding, but like that's literally going to be the start of the stream. So one thing that Wiser Wolf talked about in the last stream that I actually want to bring up real quick is we were always wondering what exactly happened with Strelok, because as we know at the end of COP, Strelok joined S.T.A.L.K.E.R as I think like the chief consultant or scientist or whatever. There were two routes that I thought they might take for Stalker 2, one of which making Strelok kind of irrelevant and to where he's like kind of only mentioned a little bit but he's not important, or two, they were going to turn him into maybe like a villain of some sort. Reason being is they need to give him a personality, because obviously, you know, we only played him in the first game, and he needs a bit of personality now that he's going to be a NPC, right? He needs his own motivations and goals and everything like that. Those were the two routes that I was thinking, but Wiser Wolf in the last stream mentioned something that I think is what they're actually going to do, is maybe Strelok joins S.T.A.L.K.E.R, he learns that they're corrupt, and he then joins S.T.A.L.K.E.R and S.P.A.R.K, essentially, to take down S.T.A.L.K.E.R. That might be another option. And so, like, that sounds more like what they would do, because I don't think, you know, even though I think it would be funny, I don't think they're going to turn Strelok into a villain. And so I actually do think that that is the way that they might go with it. Make it to where Strelok is like undercover essentially and helping S.P.A.R.K. If you watch the trailer where they were showing how they make the cutscenes and everything like that with the body capture, there's two different scenes. One of which where you're coming in and fighting S.T.A.L.K.E.R, and one of which where you're helping S.T.A.L.K.E.R and Dahlin is his name. So there are choices in Stalker 2. I think they said that there was going to be 3 total endings, like important endings. Now, obviously, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of stuff in between that can change. Think of it kind of like Fallout New Vegas in a way. Like Fallout New Vegas, you know, you have your different routes, but like you can do different things during those routes, and that'll be reflected in the end cutscene. So I think they're probably going to do something similar. You know, for example, in Fallout New Vegas, you can do a house run, but you don't have to, you know, help the Great Khans if you don't want to. You don't have to kill them if you don't want to. You know, there's different choices you can make along the way that would affect like essentially the quote unquote like ending wrap up. And I feel like they could do something like that. But so that's like my theory so far as Strelok goes. Now, S.T.A.L.K.E.R I think is a lot more interesting, because for those of you who participated in the ARG or have watched a video about the ARG, you would know that there is something called the object, and everyone knows that that's going to be the biggest important thing in Stalker 2. It is called the object. We don't know what the object is, but it is so important. S.T.A.L.K.E.R's looking for it. It's related to the group. You know, we know that it's important, and that's why people are kind of guessing right now that the quote-unquote object is the Heart of Chernobyl, because it's called Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Maybe it's an artifact called the Heart of Chernobyl, you know? So like that's one of the things that people are kind of like theorizing. All right, let's see how my stash luck is in this like brand new save. You guys ready for this? Boom. Wow. Documents. And I feel like the theory that everyone follows right now, which they could subvert this obviously, because this is a theory that most people have had, that the reason it's called Stalker 2 is it's because we're the second person with the Stalker tattoo. So we've been brainwashed, which makes sense, because Skiff is a weird character, because Strider hints towards Skiff maybe being former Monolith, but in the beginning, like, Skiff doesn't know, like, what in the world to do as far as, like, bolts go and stuff, right? And that wouldn't make any sense for someone who's been in the zone for a long time, right? So, like, really? Are bandits shooting at me right now? Guys, this is, like, extremely messed up. I'm trying to deal with boars. Ow, I broke. Wait, how did I take that much damage when I fell? Holy. But so it's weird that he knows all this stuff essentially that, or he doesn't know things that he should, right? Especially if he's been in the zone for a long time. Now, the thing I'm actually curious about is, since it's called the Heart of Chernobyl, right? We know that the center of the zone isn't at the CMPP, because I remember this being mentioned pretty early on. Like, technically, the CMPP is not the heart of the zone. The generators more than likely is. So it's probably going to have something to do with the generators, if I can imagine. And remember, the way that Stalker 2 works is it's more akin to real life, where Pripyat is north of the CMPP, like it is IRL. Really, dude, there's more boars? Dude, what is this game? Why does it hate me? When there's an area beyond generators? I don't know. I feel like generators is going to end up being the only area. I mean, technically, we know that there is supposed to be, I think, 3 total DLCs, right, for Stalker 2. If I remember correctly, there's the Lemansk one, right? There is one that's supposed to be to like the very northwestern corner of the zone, and then there's supposed to be one to the like northeastern where like the quote-unquote like snowfield or whatever it's called is, if I remember correctly. So there's supposed to be 3 zone expansions that eventually will come out. So that should be interesting to see what they do with that, because obviously it's going to have to be its own contained story, and they're going to have to explain why in the world Lamansk isn't in the game by default. Did it just appear out of nowhere? Yes, Stalker 2 multiplayer is going to be PvP. There is obviously a possibility that someone down the road will make a like co-op, you know, a kind of mod or whatever, right? But it's not going to be a thing at launch, obviously. He's getting destroyed. Oh. Hi. Why'd I reload? All right, we're good. So do you think Grok? No. Grok already said there will be no. He's not planning on Gamma to be a Stalker 2 thing. Like, no, because first of all, Gamma is a combination of mods over the course of literal years, dude. Like, an insane amount of years. It is going to be a long time before we ever have anything close to like what Gamma is for Stalker 2. It's not going to happen. And I think that's a good thing, honestly. People should just play the game the way that it's meant to be played. No, Grok already said it's going to be a long time before he ever touches anything. He said he might make very simple mods for Stalker 2, but like full conversion stuff is not going to be something that he's worried about or messing with. Really? What did I... bruh. Really? Oh, I did that. Can I freaking do anything, dude? What is wrong with this zone? Holy crap. So there's a season pass? Yeah. So if you buy the Ultimate Edition, I think, or was it the Deluxe Edition? I don't remember. One of them gives you all the DLC. I don't remember which one. Yeah, like what people don't understand is just because a game is newer does not mean it's easier to mod. And even though GSC says they're doing like the best modding tools they could possibly do, that does not guarantee that the modding tools are actually going to be that versatile. So yes, eventually someone might make a full conversion mod similar to Gamma in Stalker 2, but more than likely it's going to take a while. It's not going to be an instant thing. And as I said, I'm fine with that. Honestly, I would prefer if they hold the modding tools for at minimum 3 to 4 months so that people can actually experience the damn game the way it's meant to be, instead of thinking, oh, I can't wait to mod this, I want to mod this, I want to change this. You know, I find it stupid. Can you like let me do something, game? Like what? Let's think more about. Let's think. What are you guys' theories? I want to hear from you guys. What are your theories for Stalker 2? Like, what do you think's going on with Strelok, with Circa? Like, what? Give me some ideas that you guys are currently having. Doug will be the main bad guy. I mean, I feel, at first I was in agreement with that, but honestly, like when me and Wolf talked about it last stream, I feel like they're actually not going to do that. I think Strelok is going to essentially become an undercover agent working with Spark to get rid of Circa. I don't think they have the balls to turn Strelok into a villain. I've mentioned this before, but... Ooh. Oh, why is there military? Oh, well, here goes my first life. Dude, why is there military just like right here? I've never had military, just... Okay. Anyways, what I was about to say was, I've mentioned this before, but on day 1 of Stalker 2, I plan on running as far north. I want to see if there's anything stopping us, like, you know, anything in our way. So that's going to be the plan for our day 1 stream. As I said earlier, though, it is depressing that we can't preload the game on Steam or anything like that. I was really hoping that maybe they'd let you preload on, like, PC Game Pass, and then I'll just, like, activate Game Pass to pre-download it and everything like that so that we can immediately get into the gameplay when the game goes live. But unfortunately, it looks like the beginning of our stream is just going to be us waiting for the download to finish, which luckily, I do have pretty good internet, so it won't take too long. I think I calculated it to take about 18 minutes to download 160 gigs, so that's what it's going to be. By the way, when it comes to graphics and performance, I'd like to remind people that since it's using Lumen, software Lumen specifically, it is going to perform badly, so I recommend one setting to immediately, if you're getting bad FPS in Stalker 2, I recommend trying to find the Lumen setting and either A, lowering it, or B, disabling it. Another thing I'd look into is any volumetric effects, like volumetric cloud, volumetric fog. I've noticed that in a lot of games, and a couple of Unreal Engine 5 games, those really destroy your performance. Because remember those graphs that we saw from NVIDIA? Those graphs specifically said max settings at the top, meaning this is like Lumen on max, Nanite on, like everything turned up to the max, right? So I wouldn't be too worried specifically about those settings. All right, job is done on that. Dude, it is so nice not playing Iron Man. I'm like running around doing stupid stuff and I don't feel bad for it. And I don't feel like I'm about to die. This is like the greatest feeling in the world. Do you think Call Appropriate Squad will come back? At least one would be cool. I'm honestly very curious to see if S.T.A.L.K.E.R comes back. That would be very interesting. One thing that I found really interesting about COP is when you're going through Jupiter Underground, the squad that you assemble, either, you know, one of them can die or all of them can die. It doesn't like technically change things hugely. So I wonder if in their canon, if GSC's canon, whether anyone died during the Jupiter Underground section. RAM and SSDs right now are so incredibly cheap. Like, honestly, if you need more RAM, if you need more SSDs, and you live in a good, or like, I was about to say a good country. That sounds fucked up. If you live in a country where things are relatively cheap, I would go ahead and buy them. Especially, okay, look, I don't want, listen, we're not going to talk about this, okay? I'm going to mention this once. You can disagree with me if you like, but we're not going to talk about it, okay? I recommend that if you are in North America, if you are in America in general, probably, mainly America, I recommend going ahead, and if you need PC upgrades, go ahead and do it. Buy SSD, buy RAM, buy whatever you need, because if Trump does his tariffs that he wants to do, that he says he's going to do no matter what, I've went through the entire thing. Like, I've looked at the document that has been published and everything like that. That tariff will literally increase, like, computer prices, like, by, like, around 40 to 50%. So I'm just telling you right now. So if you see a good deal on something, I'd recommend just buying it, because in a year from now, it literally might be a huge percent. Yeah, 20% at a minimum is basically the increase. So, like, I highly recommend buying what you need now, because you might not be able to later. Yeah, you can have any political opinion you want. I'm just saying that, like, as far as tariffs go, that would increase the prices of computer parts by a lot. So go ahead, buy what you need. Because I'm going to remind people, you can turn down settings. Like, let's have a serious discussion, by the way, real quick. I feel like one thing people don't talk about a lot is nowadays, medium looks almost just as good as high does in most games. Like, there's a lot of games recently that I've played that, while yes, I can max it out on my GPU, if I do max it out, it doesn't look that much better than medium, but I'm, like, getting my FPS cut in literal half. It's just, I feel like it's not worth running games at the maximum settings anymore. It's kind of like a nice to have, but for the most part, if you run your game at like medium, it'll look good enough, honestly. The only setting that I recommend that people max if they can, and this more depends on your graphics card's VRAM, is texture quality. Because for me, at least, in a lot of games, texture quality on medium doesn't look that good. Dude, how is he still alive? Hello? Is he just God or something? I'm going to play Stalker at medium. Yeah, so like, for example, I've got a good GPU. I've got a 4070 Ti Super, but even with my GPU, I don't plan on playing Stalker at max settings. I might put it to max just to see what it looks like, but I guarantee you, day one Stalker 2, I will put the graphics to max so we can look at it and what it looks like at max with my GPU, and then I'll put it down to medium. And I bet you'll notice like maybe a little bit more like lower texture detail in the distance, but it probably isn't going to be a big enough of a difference to like warrant getting your FPS cut in half. Yeah, exactly. I prefer medium at over 100 FPS than high at 60. That is something I 100% agree with. The map is 64 square kilometers. Yep. The map is 64 square kilometers. It is freaking huge. That is probably, honestly, why the game is like 160 gigabytes, is like most of it's probably just the map. Oh, I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh, Azazel. Who do we become? Alan Wake or Silent Hill, it'll probably still look good at low. Yeah, dude, Alan Wake is a great example. Alan Wake is an amazing example, because I played Alan Wake 2 before I bought this new GPU, right? And I had to turn my settings down like almost all the way to get a solid 60. And I am telling you, it was good enough. It was more than good enough. And okay, I became a duty soldier. Hey, dude, at least he's got 12K on him and a decent gun. Like, hey, this isn't that bad. Yeah, I can't wait to, like, just run around and do stuff. Yeah, like, running around, doing dumb stuff in the game. That's honestly what I'm looking forward to most. As fun as Stalker is, like, it is really fun. I think what makes it more fun is just the random stuff that happens when you're going from area to area, right? I feel like that is what makes Stalker feel alive, you know, running across two different factions shooting each other, or even coming across like a dead body. Like, you find like a dead duty and two dead freedom, and it's like, oh, okay, I wonder who won this fight, right? Like, what went on here? I feel like that's going to be like really good, and they need to nail that. They need to nail that it feels like there's other NPCs going about in their daily business, which hopefully, you know, they did say they focused heavily on A Life 2.0, so it should feel like that. And I hope it is. They did talk about some interesting things, like the game journalist who got to play Stalker 2, he talked about how he accepted a quest from a guy, and then the dude's ally died, and he looted the ally's body, and he failed his quest because, like, you're not supposed to loot, like, this dude's friend, right? So, like, I find stuff like that pretty interesting. Hello, my friend. I'm just gonna sneak up on you. How are you doing today? Yeah, no, Stalker 2 Anomaly, no. You're gonna be waiting a long time, and that's fine by me. What is this iron sight? What in the world is this iron sight? I hate that iron sight. I just hope that they implement FSR frame gen like really, really well. Because in certain games, like Cyberpunk, for example, they didn't do a good job implementing AMD frame gen, which makes sense because it's a deal, or like, you know, Cyberpunk is basically an NVIDIA sponsored game at this point, right? Duty is crap in Stalker 2. Well, we don't know that they're crap. We know that Duty has been driven out of raw stock in Stalker 2, but we don't know where their new base is. Like, maybe Duty relocated somewhere and it's going to be like much better. Honestly, there's a theory that I was looking at that I kind of agree. So here, let me give me a second. Let me try to pull this up. All right, so as we all know, here is the map that is the hand-drawn map. So keep in mind, since it is a hand-drawn map, this is only one Stalker's experience. You know, they obviously heard people talk about different areas. I think we know where Spark's base is, right? So for those who don't know, they did choose Spark as the official translation name for it, right? That's what it's called in the GSC Discord, correct? Yeah, people are like memeing that he has like brain damage because listen to him, like where is it at where he goes shit's about to go down. Here we go. Dude, everyone's like, oh dude, those emissions must have fried his brain, dude. Listen to this.
Oh, shit's gonna go down at the institute.
But yeah, so his faction is called Spark. If you played, well, technically you didn't play. Well, technically, if you were a part of the ARG, for those who don't know, ARG is an augmented reality game. GSC did one a while back, right? And in that, we learned that S.T.A.L.K.E.R is not exactly up to good. They are searching for the object, which people are assuming is the Heart of Chernobyl, which is why the game's called Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is against, obviously, the Institute, against S.T.A.L.K.E.R. And since the faction is called Spark, I want you to go look down here. This says flashes, flickers, right? All the way down here, flashes, flickers. People are assuming that this is Spark. This is their base. So past, I think this is Duga. So like that is an interesting assumption, but it would be really cool to go see. By the way, for those who don't realize how freaking huge this map is, let me explain something to you, okay? Let me explain to you how ridiculous this map is. You see like right here where this little bridge is. You see this bridge like right here? If I remember correctly, this is where the demo begins. So like if you went to like Paris, the Gamescom or whatever, and you played Stalker 2, you began like right here and you ended like somewhere like right here. It's like this little tiny like thing. And I think Anomalous Dugout said that it took him about 15 minutes to get from here to here. And it's like the tiniest area in the world, 15 minutes for him to get there. And I just want you guys to think about for a second how freaking huge this map is. And then also consider real quick that there's going to be anomalies and dangerous areas alongside this. Do you know how long it's going to take us to get across this map, dude? I hope that there are guides in the game. Like, not a ton of guides, just like a few. You know, someone in Zalicia who can take you to the 100 Rads bar here. Or, you know, someone here that will take you, like, I don't know, freaking Great Swamps or some shit. Oh, well, no, Great Swamps is all dead now, if I remember correctly. There's another couple of things that's interesting. So, like, for example, we know that the ward is basically right here in this island, I'm assuming, because it's called Worse Than Military. And the only thing that could really be worse than military, like most stalkers would consider worse than military, is probably the ward, because it's the police faction, right? Essentially the police of the zone. So people obviously don't exactly like authority. I'm really curious about some of these markers though. Like for example, let me zoom in really, really tight. I don't know if you can read this, but it says, don't sleep here. What is here? What is here? I want to know, dude. As soon as I begin the game, I want to go here. Why is it telling me not to sleep here? What is so dangerous that you can't sleep here? I want to know that, dude. This is why I love this paper map, because there's so many little things that you can look at that you're just like, okay, well, what is that? You know, like, for example, there's this, like, little house structure. So there's, like, a village in between, like, Pripyat and the CMPP, I guess. And there's the bunker here, like, shows, like, a bunker. Red Forest, you know, okay. Why does it say Jupiter Underground ? You know, okay, so like, does it not exist anymore, or can people not find it? False path, or they lie. Like, people are assuming that this false path leads you to Limansk. because as I said, Limansk isn't in the game by default. It's in a DLC coming. So Limansk isn't in the game, so people are assuming that this false path brings you to Limansk. And like stuff like this, for example, Misha has gone crazy. Who's Misha? Why has he gone crazy? You know, like, are we gonna meet this person? Are we gonna find them dead somewhere? Like, okay. Also, the center of the zone, obviously, this is probably going to be where generators is. By the way, so earlier I was talking about choices that we can make in the game, right? So, for example, here's the creating cutscenes video, right? And in the beginning, you can see right here, this is, I guess, if we're helping S.T.A.L.K.E.R, if we choose to help them. So,
Scanning for Tau presence.
and that's Dalin, I think his name is, if I remember correctly, the head of S.T.A.L.K.E.R. But so, yeah, so that's if we're helping S.T.A.L.K.E.R, right? But then it also shows if we are like, I'm assuming we're with S.T.A.L.K.E.R during this sequence right here, right? I'm assuming we're with S.T.A.L.K.E.R and someone else. But right here, as you can see, this is if you're attacking S.T.A.L.K.E.R, because you can see Dalin right there, right? You can see him literally right there. And so this is like like an alternative cutscene where we're, instead of helping them, going against them. Dude, I like the Ukrainian voice acting so much more, dude. Like, I'm sorry, look, the English voices, the voice actors aren't bad in English. It's just, I understand why they didn't try to do this, like, fake Ukrainian accent, right? But at the same time, hearing, like, British people, you know, hearing, like, British voices and, like, all these other accents, and the character clearly isn't meant to be, you know, that, you know, from that area, it kind of, like, messes with me. Like, I would much prefer if they just, like, did a fake accent, honestly. Now, obviously, in order to make such a big map interesting, what they're gonna have to do is make it to where there's something around every corner. Like, we talked about this in a previous stream. We think it was a Bethesda quote, right? But essentially, you need your players to experience something every, I think the average was like every 30 seconds to like 40 seconds. So, you know, you're going between an area and, oh my god, there's like dead bodies here. Like, what happened here? You know, there needs to be something that catches the attention. And obviously, the game doesn't have to be like that all the time. There can be slow moments where you're just like walking through an area and there's nothing going on. And that'd be perfectly fine, obviously, right? But for most players, there needs to be something going on. So I feel like if they want to do like that, and yeah, it's a Red Dead Redemption 2 quote. I think it's every 50 seconds to 90 seconds. Gotcha. Dude, he only had a bandage? Are you joking? I spawned with a bandage and that's it. Okay. You know what? Oh, well, they need the map to be somewhat populated as far as like stuff happening, which is gonna heavily rely on A-Life. That's honestly the one thing that I've been holding out hope for the most, is that A-Life will be amazing. I am really hoping, because as long as they nail that and the world feels like lived in, that's going to be the main thing. A-Life and the companions AI and whatnot. Oh, they've already, they confirmed that there will be no permanent companions, by the way. So there are no real companions in Stalker 2. Well, the AI definitely will be roaming. Like, they're going to be going across the map and like doing their own thing. My question is whether or not their roaming patterns will change the later in the game that we get. So like, let's say that there is something like the Brain Scorcher in Stalker 2 that prevents most people from going up north, and we disable it. I really hope that we see a change in the NPCs going up, you know, north. I want to see change. I want to see, you know, what we do being like reflected to the world. And that could be as simple as, oh, there's like maybe a 20% increase in people going north, for example, right? It doesn't have to be something huge. It just needs to be, you know, something, essentially. We don't know anything really about the former labs, like the Brain Scorcher and the Miracle Machine. I'm going to assume that they're probably not going to want to recycle content again. And so maybe we can explore the Brain Scorcher and Miracle Machine, but I doubt they're going to be integral to the story. I doubt that it's going to be like, oh no, they turned back on the Brain Scorcher. You have to now go and turn it off, you know? Like, I don't think they're going to do that. But I'm sure we can explore them. I'm just curious how they're going to stop us from getting into the labs. Like, what's going to be the checkpoint for us, right? Or will we need, like, key cards or what? Because keep in mind, the entire world is open world, right? As far as I've been told, there are no loading screens. So if I want to go into freaking X8, if I want to go, like, Brain Scorcher or Miracle Machine or anything, right? I technically should be able to just get in there, you know, without a loading screen. So, like, we're going to need, we're going to need some key cards or something going forward. Yeah, I'm sure someone will deliver Faction Wars. Honestly, like, you know, as much as I say that I want to play Stalker 2 and nothing else, right? And, you know, I understand that a lot of people are going to want to mod the game, and I am looking forward to the future of modding. I just don't want modding to be a focus early on in the game's life cycle, because I just want people to play the way the game's meant to be, and then we can worry about, like, you know, mods and stuff, right? But I am curious to see, because GSC sounded really confident in those interviews that they were going to deliver some of the greatest modding tools that they possibly could. And so, you know, maybe we will have a faction wars mod. Maybe we will have co-op eventually, you know? It's a possibility. It's not impossible. Oh, damn. Bro, like, why would they put me here? Can I even pay to go somewhere else? I don't think so. Yeah, speaking of finishing SOC, we might do some gunslinger, some call appropriate gunslinger, because I do have it installed, and I just started a playthrough of it, or like me playing it, you know, by myself. So we might do a stream of it maybe, because so far it's been pretty fun. So it'd be good to replay Call Appropriate anyways, because I feel like COP is going to be the most important game to play before Stalker 2 releases, I'm assuming. So yeah, definitely need to go and replay it, because it's been a long time since I've replayed the like OG trilogy. Like I replayed Shadow of Chernobyl a while ago at this point, and then I replayed Clear Sky, and then COP though, Call Appropriate, I don't think I've replayed since like 2013. So for me, it's been like 11 years essentially. So there's a lot that I probably don't remember. I'm worried about how tasks will work in Stalker 2. I wouldn't say I'm worried about like how tasks will work, because as far as I can tell, it's basically just, you know, you go up to someone, you talk to them, you ask what they need, and then you'll see what happens. As I said earlier, there was that journalist who like looted the task giver's friend, and it failed the task because obviously he wouldn't want you looting his dead friend who just died in front of him. But like, yeah, I'll be curious to see. There was another journalist that played during the 3 hours thing, and they said that they were out exploring the zone and their quest randomly failed, and so they called a developer over to report it as a bug, and they were like, no, he can just die, you know, he's not really important, so yeah, I guess you just failed it because he died. And so he like came back to find his like dead body sitting there, and I was like, damn, dude. As long as it's not like super common, you know, I obviously don't want my task giver dying every 2 seconds, right? But like, I think it's fine if like you get surprised by a dead quest giver at some point. Ooh wee! Oh! God, I love rebounders. Hello? I spawned in a sin. And there's... What is going on? I don't even know what just happened. The only other thing that's like kind of a concern, but like I'm sure they can fix, because they've gotten a lot of negative feedback about this. So, you know, who knows? Maybe they've already changed it. But did you guys see the facial animation in between cutscenes, like the neutral state while they're like waiting for you to respond? Here, let me see if I can pull up a YouTube video. Nah, dude, he cuts it right. Dude, he cuts the video right as it's about to be shown. Because look, so like the dialogue, see, look, it looks fine. Like, you know, he's talking right here.
I really want to walk into some meat grinder of a bandit camp just for a few coupons. Was the stalker who gave me the job setting me up?
You see, right here, literally right when he cuts, he's gonna enter, he kind of merges into a neutral state where he's just gonna like look deadpan, but he freaking cuts it right before the deadpan shows up, because I've seen it. Wait, here we go. Wait, no, he doesn't show it there. One complaint that a lot of people have, which I see where they're coming from, is people saying that there's not enough guns in the game, and it does seem like there aren't a like huge amount of guns, but in my opinion, as long as there's enough attachments and upgrades and everything, I think it'll be fine. But like, I do get where people are coming from when they say that. Yeah, underbarrel shotgun on the sniper was hilarious. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh. I wouldn't say Anomaly Gamma spoiled us or anything like that. I treat them as completely separate entities, because I've said it before, but I want to play Stalker 2. I don't want to play Gamma 2. You know, I want Stalker 2 to feel like a continuation of the game that I played over a decade ago. And so I think that, you know, it'll obviously not have some things that this has, but that doesn't really matter in my opinion. You know what? Because I'm stupid, let's go ahead and do Strelok's Hideout, because we're really good at this game, right? You know what's crazy? Even though we've been talking about theories for Stalker 2, there's actually not too many theories we can really talk about, because they have kept the game really secreted, if you think about it for a second. Like, you know, we don't really know anything about Skiff's purpose, or like the stranger that was on top of the roof, you know, that was talking about the zone and like his love for her. and stuff like that, right? Like we don't know a lot of things, and so it's kind of hard really to theorize about things that we obviously have no clue about. I beg that Fang is still alive. I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, I did watch Anomalous Dugout's video theorizing on Fang and stuff, but I don't know. In my opinion, he's dead. Ow. That hurt. Oh, great. Hi, Polter. Where are you? I'm gonna die. Woo! Nope, don't hit me. Here, if I crouch here, don't worry. I'm gonna wait. There. Oh, dude, really? Me standing up? There we go. We're good. Like, there was that early theory that, like, oh, it must be Strelok, right? Because, you know, he does have a scar in the same place or whatever, and he, like, somewhat resembles him. But, like, I doubt they're gonna go that way. In my opinion, that's not a thing. Dude, what is this BS? Why in the world is there an anomaly, like, right on top of this bed? What is going on? Oh, whoop. Yep, I did it. Yeah, so, like, there's a lot of stuff that we just straight up don't know. Can't be Strelok unless he wished for hair. I mean, dude, he might have. He might have said, God, I'm tired of being freaking bald, man. I need a new cut. Yeah, I'm just curious about him because he's obviously really important, right? Because wasn't that the E3 like debut trailer for Stalker 2, like the main trailer? You know, when they showed the stranger. So like he's obviously an important enough figure that they're trying to like put him on display. Not to mention, I think that trailer dropped right when the ARG was ongoing. So he probably has like something to do with S.T.A.L.K.E.R or something to do with the object, right? So something of the sort. I want to know why military have control over Yaniv. That's something I do want to know. Do you think identifying Stalker will be difficult? Honestly, I do think it will be. Because especially now that fidelity has gotten like so much better and everything looks really like, I guess, high detail. It's harder to like distinguish factions. You're really gonna have to pay attention to like the color of their clothing, the way that they look, and everything like that. Because as far as I've seen, there's no faction identification stuff in Stalker 2. Like when I look at someone, there's not like any type of identification. So you're just gonna have to like hope you're shooting the right dude. Like, I think this guy is the right guy to kill, right? Right? This guy's totally the one I'm supposed to be murdering. Was it confirmed no preload? Yes, it was confirmed. It is confirmed by GSC in their own Discord. There is no preload, only for consoles. Us on PC, it doesn't matter if you're on, if you're buying on GOG, if you're buying on Epic, or you're buying on Steam, or even the PC Game Pass. It doesn't matter. You cannot preload the game. Yeah, it's a bit stupid. People are complaining about it right now, so maybe GSC will backtrack and like allow like preload. At least, like, dude, I feel like they should just do it like 2 hours before the game goes live. Like seriously, just 2 hours before, let us preload. Like even that would be better than nothing, right? I preloaded it on PC, on Xbox Game Pass. Now, when you say preload, Legacy, did you download the entire 160 gigabyte game, or was it that 15 megabyte preload? Because if it's the 15 megabyte preload, that's not a real preload. Okay, yep, see, there you go. Okay, never mind. It only downloaded a 10 megabyte file. Yep, that is not preloading. That is reserving. If it comes preload, you'll know about it. Yeah, I mean, it's 160 gigabytes, so it'll take a while. If any of you manage to pre-download the game, all 160 gigs before launch day, please at me in Discord. So yeah, join the Discord and at me if you're able to do it, so that I will just go ahead and do it. But yes, it tricked me too. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought, because I was specifically told by like multiple people, including in the GSC Discord, that there was no PC preload whatsoever. It was Xbox only. Jesus, dude. This gun does not kill. Ooh, dude, KS12 with like good shit on it. Dude, let's go. Yeah, like that's actually another thing I'm really curious about, is what they're gonna really do with the modding on PC. Like, how is that gonna end up being? Hello? Oh, oops, I wasn't supposed to kill him. I did not know I was supposed to talk to him. So, yep, that was your dude. Yep, I feel a little bit bad about him. Oh, who's that? Hi, how's it going? Freedom. That is interesting. I don't normally see freedom here. I'm actually curious, like, oh my, what is going on? Dude, what is happening? Dude, what is going on? I didn't know I was playing frickin' Call of Pripyat again. Jesus fuck. You know, I'm curious to see how like major artifacts and like artifact hunting will be in Stalker 2. Because if you think about all the trailers that have come out, right, they haven't really focused too much on artifacts overall. And so I'm curious to see, is our artifacts just gonna have like, you know, small buffs and the main reason to farm them is for money, or like, you know, what exactly are they doing with artifacts? Because they haven't really focused on them too much. In the Discord right now, they have been like every day. I think they've been posting like a new artifact. Like I think they posted the Kolobok earlier today. Yeah, they posted the model for the Kolobok, and the day before they did Stoneheart. So like, yeah, they're showing off artifacts now, but like, yeah, especially now that they've said that like artifacts lose power when outside the zone, like that's a bit weird, but I'll be curious to see where they go with that. Makes sense, like they aren't constantly charged by the zone. Yeah, like it's still a bit of a weird retcon though, because like, I guess it makes more sense in like a logical sense to where it's like, oh, well, you know, we need more people going into the zone because once these artifacts lose their power, I mean, we need more people to go in there and get more, right? So it's like, okay, that makes sense. Beware of Gamma gamers. The issue that I have with most people that play Gamma isn't the fact that they play Gamma, it's that they refuse to play the OG trilogy, and then they like to talk about things as if they know, like, what happened in the games. And yet, like, 90% of the information that they spout is, like, them getting confused between, like, Gamma lore and real lore, right? Like, the other, like, people asking me last time, oh, you know, in Stalker 2 is, are there going to be Sin, right? And they're talking about, like, the Sin faction and shit and, like, all this other stuff. And it's like, no, dude, the Sin were a cut faction. It's not a thing, you know? Like, stuff like that. I don't know, dude. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of Gamma players will talk about and ask, and it's like, dude, no. But yeah, exactly. Think about, like, 80% the size of Red Dead 2 is insane because you don't have a horse, dude. But yeah, as you said, you have 4 souls for freaking infinite stamina. I don't think they're gonna let us do that, unfortunately. But it would be interesting to, like, dude, big brain, okay? All right, guys, are you ready for this amazing idea that I have, okay? When Stalker 2 comes out, and we got multiplayer, PvP multiplayer, we will host a PvP tournament. We just need to find some like random freaking company that would love to give me like $500 to put as a prize pool or some shit. You know, like that might not be that hard. Like I'm joking around about finding a company, but like honestly, one of my friends, he does Gundam stuff, right? And like I was looking at some channels that are like smaller and they're doing like Gundam stuff and everything like that. And there's this dude that's like not even that big. Like, well, I say not that big. He's got like 4K subs, I think, right? And a channel sent him like, or like a company sent him like an $800 fucking like paint kit or whatever. And it's like, dude, what in the world? You know, I joke about it, but it might not actually be that hard to like find a company for something like that, you know? I'm actually curious what they're going to be doing because they did mention that there will be New Game Plus eventually in Stalker 2. And so I'm curious what they're going to do with New Game Plus, because starting with your like weapons and inventory isn't like that amazing in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I feel like it would need some like extra challenge to it or something to make it like more interesting, right? Not just, oh, you start with your weapons and your artifacts and shit. Do you think it'll be easier to add a co-op to Unreal Engine? I think it'll be easier, but I don't think we're going to see it for a while. Honestly, I don't think it's going to happen for a while. One thing that is going to happen pretty much right away, I can tell you this for a fact, is a VR mod. We are definitely messing around. We're going to be doing some Unreal Engine shit for a VR mod for Stalker 2. That should be very fun. We don't know if there will be progression systems outside of Geary. There are no progression systems as far as like leveling up or putting skill points or skills or nothing like that. The closest thing to skills is artifacts, and that's it. So as plug and play multiplayer and VR mod. Well, here's the thing. It's not that simple. It's not that simple to just like attach something to it and make it co-op. It's not going to be that simple. There's a lot of work that would have to be put towards it. Same thing with VR. Like Unreal Engine 5, there's a reason people have to use the Unreal Injector, which is a third-party program that is created with this sole intention of VR compared to like Unreal Engine's internal VR tools. Because I'm going to be real with you. If you compare Unreal and Unity, Unity is so much better for VR by like a mile. It's going to take a while before. I think people like underestimate like how long it takes to do certain mods and stuff like that. Yeah, like for most people, I would like lower your expectations and just like assume that it'll be a while before we get any good like interesting mods and stuff like that. I would temper your expectations and just like not really consider it for a while. Don't really think about it too much. Yeah, that's the thing about creation. You're very right about that. There's a lot of people that think a lot of things are like, oh, it's so super easy. Oh, it's so simple. And then they actually try to like do it. And it's like, no, buddy, it ain't. Not, dude, there are people that still play the PvP mode in the OG games, dude. What do you mean? It's not going to be dead. People still play the PvP shit. If I boot up Clear Sky right now, there are people literally playing like the PvP shit. Literally right now, if I booted up Clear Sky. Or any of the games. But no, dude, the OG games had PvP multiplayer and people freaking love that shit. And I mean, honestly, I loved it when I played a bit of it. So I didn't play too much of it. Dude, it's so like hard to grasp that it's only 6 days away. 6 days from now, we will have already been playing Stalker 2 for 5 hours and 20 minutes. Because it comes out at 12 p.m. Eastern. So we will literally have already been playing for freaking 5 hours and 20 minutes by now. In 6 days. By the way, I forget to mention this a lot of the time, so I'm going to mention this right now. If you scroll down under the video, there's something called the join button. You can join my membership for $1 a month. That's right, $1 a month. Just $1. What a great deal. I'm sure you don't have anything that you want for $1. Therefore, you should totally give me $1. Support my cancer diagnosis. Scar survive? Yeah, so like that's what I'm curious. How did Scar survive? I mean, it's kind of obvious from the trailers that he might not completely be there in his head, like logically. But yeah, the Scar is it's gonna be quite difficult for them to explain why Scar is alive. Don't imagine being hit with an emission does good things to your head. Nah, dude, what are you talking about? I'm sure it's great. I'm sure getting like slammed in the head over and over again by emissions is definitely good for you. Why is there so... Oh, dude, he waited on me. Dude, he freaking waited on me. Yeah, why are there so many freedom here all of a sudden? I like never see freedom at this checkpoint. Now all of a sudden there's like a million freedom here. All right, well, that's a wrap. Basically just wanted to go over some stuff like what expectations were, what people in my community thought of as far as Stalker 2 goes, but I cannot wait just a few days away. Until then, we'll probably do some Gunslinger, maybe some IWP, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.